This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Now, here I am with four girls, and I said that this is about what makes our community tick, but this is about what makes our community go bang, bang, bang. And, you know, it's usually, it's such a stereotype, you know, Bhangra music, you know, those kind of really tall Sikh men coming out with their, you know, drums and dholaks and making a kind of big racket in, you know, a lot of Asian doos all across the country. But you guys are women. And, you know, so tell me a bit about your group, how you started out. And I just heard you a few minutes ago, and I was just like, wow, this is fantastic. Tell me a bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, we are Eternal Dhol. We are a Birmingham-based Bhangra group, predominantly specialising in females. We started in 1999. We've got a beautiful journey of 15 years. And as you come into the conversation...
15 years?
15 years.
Y'all barely look past 15 years yourself.
Well, you know, the Dhol and the training that we do every week, you know, the stamina that we keep up, that makes us look young. So, you know, whatever the men can do, we can obviously do better. Of course, yeah. So, yeah.
And tell me, I mean, what got you interested in dholaks and is this something that's kind of, is this your what you do as your day job?
Well, a day job, I'm a lecturer in computer science. That's a day job. And hobby-wise, 15 years ago, my father started in 1967 a Bhangra group in the UK. He's in the Guinness Book of Record for starting Bhangra.
Really?
So I've had a childhood of musical
So you're the daughter of the father of Bhangra in the UK?
For the pioneer, yes. And obviously growing up in a musical kind of environment, picking up all the instruments, and it's such a male-dominating industry.
Yeah.
That's when I thought 15 years ago, I want to do this, but I want to do it different.
Yeah, that's what that's what I thought, because when I saw all of you, I was like, hang on, where are the male, you know, guys with those big fetas and, you know, colorful clothes and everything? Tell me, I mean, women doing this, is this, I mean, obviously your father must be really thrilled, but what about the neighbors and, you know, what about the rest of the community?
Well, I think we're all in the same position. I mean, the neighbours go mad when we're playing, we're rehearsing. Because at the end of the day, our stamina, our rehearsals and our team building exercises that we do on a weekly basis, that's what makes us unique. And at the end of the day, we've got to meet a market where, you know, what men are doing, we can do better, just, you know, with our drums. And we've got not just a Dhol group, we've got a dancing group, we've got a drumming group, a DJ group. So we just kind of expand our services, but females only.
Okay,
Yeah.
females only, okay. So are all girls in Birmingham doing sort of, you know, unique things like this? I mean, is this part of a movement of, you know, whatever men can do, whatever Asian men can do, Asian women can do better?
I don't think it's a movement as such. It's just us showcasing our talent. We all have talent, and it's us just going forward and showcasing it. So I don't think it's a movement as such. We're just coming out more and more as the media kind of puts us in the limelight a bit more now.
And tell me a bit about how long have you been doing this?
4 years with this group.
And what got you interested in going out and doing dholak?
I saw the group on YouTube, actually, believe it or not. I was at university in the Midlands. I'm actually from London. So I joined while I was at university. Then I moved back to London. I used to travel every week to classes.
Really?
To...
What's that?
True dedication.
True dedication. True
But I've now moved back to study further. But I've moved back to Birmingham. So now I'm just with them.
Super,
Yeah.
super. And what about you? I mean, is this? Do you see this very much as kind of girl power and, you know, female power asserting itself again? You know, in as your colleague pointed out, a really kind of male dominated. This is a really male dominated. I have never seen, you know, women taking up dholaks. Do you see this very much as kind of a, you know, girl power thing?
Yeah, it's definitely girl power. I mean, there's about 30 of us, so it shows that we can do it too.
What do you get out of this? You know, I saw all of you so happy and kind of beaming as y'all were, you know, the center of attraction in a huge, huge hall. Tell me, what do you get out of this person?
I think because I've been in the group for over 2 years now, and I guess experience, because we've performed at Glastonbury, Bollywood, Graham Norton Show, and it's just crazy. Like, a lot of good experience.
Do you do this as a day job as well, or do you or are you a computer teacher masquerading as a dolak player?
No, I'm a student,
Yeah.
so yeah, I take time out of my studies to.
Thing is, all the students in our group, they don't forget education. Everyone's in education. We got juniors, younger Sikhs
Yeah.
who have joined the group, and everyone's in education. They don't forget that education is very important in life. And moving forward in life and having a career option. I mean, I went all the way through into lecturing, doing a master's degree, but I never forgot my roots where my father started. 50, nearly 47 years ago, he started with nothing. And now he's in the Guinness Book of Record for establishing Bhangra music in the UK.
Yeah.
Now, as his daughter, bringing up with all these instruments, I want to educate what I had as an upbringing.
Yeah.
And these students that come to my classes on a weekly basis, we train them up and we take them to shows. And again, we got great shows like this, meeting people like you.
Yeah, fantastic. Which is, perk of my job as well. Where else can you meet, girls trying their hand at dolak? Not trying, but, really bringing the house down, really. But tell me a bit about, this thing about this perception that, Asian music and Bhangra is generally a kind of really, high testosterone, male-dominated kind of, it's very much seen as something that girls just don't do, isn't it? I mean, is that now changing, you think, with people like yourself?
I think it's changing. I think definitely over, say, about the last 6 years or so, it has changed. The stereotype is still there, I'm not going to deny that. And many people do assume, it's more of a male thing, what a female's doing. But it is changing. People's perception is changing, people's thoughts are changing over time. So it's going to take a while, but we're getting there.
Okay. And also about, apart from the male dominated thing, apart from that, this as an Asian thing, do you think it's getting a bit more mainstream sort of respect these days, or do you think it's still very much kind of a ghetto thing that those Asians in Birmingham playing the drums kind of thing?
You got to bear in mind, not just Bollywood, but Bhangra and Punjabi music has gone mainstream. Punjabi films are high in the market. We've got people like Diljit Dosanjh that stretch that across, the UK. Again, only a few like RDB crack Bollywood, but we're trying to have some sort of unique movement where, we are female, we have come from Birmingham, we are regular girls, we study on a regular basis, we work hard, and we want to do stuff like performing in Bollywood that we done last year, and performing at festivals like Glastonbury Festival. We did the Graham Norton show, we performed at the House of Commons. We've got, we've worked so hard to build such a good profile, and we're going to keep on pushing that. We've got so much going on next year, you wouldn't believe. So, yeah.
Tell me a bit about your Bollywood experience. What was that like? And that must have been a real high point, right?
There was about 15 students of ours from the group, as young as 12, and we're taking them on the sets of Bollywood. Yamla Pagla Divana 2 with Bobby Deol, Sunny Deol, Daminder, the Deol family. I grew up with watching Sunny Deol, Bobby Deol, and the students are a group that went and we experienced the sets. We spoke to them. We had a great opening shot of the wedding song that Bobby Deol was in. That experience of 4 days itself was something we'll never forget as a team, because we just feel as if that is something that we're never going to get a chance.
This is Yamla Pagla
Divana too. So the Deol's family, so their production.
Fantastic. So if you've watched that movie, do tell us what you thought of the Eternal Tal group. And now this brings me to the proof of the pudding is in tasting it, and the proof of the dolaks are in hearing it. But of course we don't want to bring down the house here. But what I want you to do is for me, if you want to just put this, just one of you. Okay, is that how you do it? Okay.
You got your, obviously, your biggest
Yeah.
on the left.
Okay.
and
Okay. So give me 1 minute. I'm gonna, if you hold this for me, please, and continue to hold it in this direction. So tell me if I'm doing this correctly. Okay. So I should pick it up this way.
Yeah.
I don't want to break any of your equipment.
Over the left
But,
shoulder.
okay. This way. Is that right?
And then the big
Okay.
stick.
And then this one goes in the left hand.
Yeah.
Okay. And this one in the right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do I do next? So what is class number 1?
So basically, we'll teach you the first, the beat that we learned.
So you hold it like this.
You can hold it like this if you're comfortable.
So step 1 is.
Yeah, if you
holding
want
it
to
this
hold your daga
way.
that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got your obviously your predominant side is your treble side, and then you got your bass side.
Correct.
So I'm going to teach you the first
Yeah.
marks. You're going to hear the dinga naka naka dinga
Okay.
dinga naka naka din.
Okay.
So you got to do 2 basses and then carry on with this. So we're going to try
what
it.
do I do?
So you're going to carry on with this.
Yeah. Eternal Tal. There you go. So, like I said, the fun perks of doing my job. I can hang out with the Eternal Tal group and get free classes, free lessons in doing this. Do tell us if you watched Yamla Pagla Diwana Part 2 and you've seen Eternal Tal. Do give us your feedback. And also do tell us, I mean, this idea of, girls coming up and performing with the Dholaks. What do you think of it? You can tweet me at @r_joggy, or you can send us your feedback at ndtv.com. I can safely say I'm gathered here today with proud members of the Sikh community. Is that correct? Safe to say that?
Yes.
Lovely. I want to ask all of you lovely ladies, firstly, thank you very much for speaking to NDTV. I want to ask all of you, what is it like being a Sikh woman in the UK in 2014? If I were to ask you, ma'am, a very personal reflection, what is it like being a Sikh?
Yes, as I'm very proud of having been born in a Sikh family and been brought up that way, and I do value the Sikh, all the prayers and the Sikh langar, and I would like to pass all those values to my next generation, my children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, what does it mean to you to be a Sikh woman in 2014?
I think considering Sikhs are only 2% of the Indian population, I think the Sikhs have done extremely well, and I'm proud of that. And I think we've reached all parts of the world, and I'm proud to pass it on to my children and grandchildren.
So true, and this is so.
It's becoming very, very popular nowadays. I'm proud of that also, because people are now started acknowledging Sikhs, and especially with the turbans.
Very, very important point. Very important. What about you, ma'am? Being a Sikh woman in 2014, what does it mean to you?
You know, Sikhism is actually holding itself on 3 pillars. First one is Naam Japna, then it's Vandike Chakna and Kirt Karni. And I strongly believe in all these 3 things. You know, being humble, basically holding on to the values that our gurus have given to us, and then with that, doing the hard work, keeping the community going around us, and then with that also sharing good practices and being a good neighbor and then a good fellow being.
It comes with a lot of things. Okay. What about you, ma'am? What to you personally? What does it mean being a Sikh person?
I mean, we have equal rights. We can do things together, and we're very generous. Like we have our langar system. We want everybody. We feed everyone with food whenever it's needed. So that's it.
I want to ask you, ma'am, because one of you pointed out to me that Sikhs have gone global. The one kind of community that is really not seeing any international borders as a limitation on their imagination. What's the secret behind this?
I think our children have done very well. We're proud of the fact. And
why do you think that Sikhs have always looked out beyond borders? Why is that?
They are very hardworking people, and they can sacrifice whenever it is required, as our gurus have done. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he sacrificed all his children, and that, of course, it's not.
So it's about sacrifice easy. And hard work.
Yes,
well, what do you think, ma'am? Why do you think Sikhs have gone global?
I personally think that we are very tolerant. At the same time, we are very brave as well. You know, we actually fight for our rights, but at the same time, if we have a neighbor and the neighbor is not got the rights that they should have, we'll fight for them. And so not just for ourselves, but we are actually working. We like to be with the people, and we like to fight for the people.
So wherever you may be in the world, Sikhs immediately are able to adjust, and because they're tolerant, and make friends with neighbors wherever they may be. Okay. Well, what do you think, ma'am? One reason why Sikhs have gone global. I mean, they're literally in every part of the world, aren't they? Why is it? Are you tough? Are you ambitious? What's the reason?
Tough. We are very tough. Like in Indian Army, Sikh regiment is the most popular one. So we are very strong and
One reason, most important, there may be the risk-taking people, and they can adjust with anybody.
Okay.
So that can be the one reason of being global also.
In the UK, the story of Sikhism is a long story. People from Punjab migrated to this country many decades ago. However, there have been problems. You know, I mean, we all know about this long story about, you know, adjusting and making UK their home. Do you think today in 2014 that story is a success story, or do you think there's still a long way to go?
Basically, looking at where we are on a journey, and if we look back 300 years ago, and from where we started to where we are now, we've come a long way. And as they say with anything, there's room for improvement, and we're always open to learn. And more than that, as I said, you know, we are always there to share our good things and also learn from people and other international,
from other faiths and other communities. What's that one thing though you feel that a Sikh woman is yet to achieve? It can be anything, you know, Prime Minister's job. What do you think is the next frontier for a Sikh woman? Anything? Big owner of a big business empire. What do you think? What's the next?
They are already in the business. They are doing very well. They are professionals. They are in the business. Yes, not yet in the British Prime Minister.
Reach the Parliament as well, which we will be very soon. And
think so?
I think so. We are.
Are you confident?
The next generation is.
Are you confident that one day we will have a British woman Sikh Prime Minister?
I don't think that's that important. I don't think it's that important. No, okay. I don't think it's that important. We are proving in every other way. So it's not important to be a Prime Minister to prove yourself.
Okay. What do you think? I mean, do you think there will be a Mrs. Singh as the Prime Minister one day?
Well, this is not quite what I am here for, or I would think anyone else, is either. Because the idea is to actually believe in what you are doing and to sustain that belief forever and ever.
And if there is a leader who emerges, well and good.
Good, all well.
Okay. Sikh woman in 2014. What's that one word that comes to your mind?
I think she's very confident.
Sacrificing, helping.
The most wisest.
Okay. Once, when I myself came to this country many years ago, a fellow passenger in an aeroplane told me that Indians are everywhere. They're in America, they're a successful community here in the UK, and they are actually thriving communities of Indians in Africa, especially in countries like Kenya and Uganda. In the 60s, in the 70s, there were communities that were very successful, were the real, the growth engines of Africa, if I can put it that way. And really were the business owners and set up businesses, were very enterprising. I have with me 4 people who were born in Nairobi and have made a life in the UK. So from being expatriate Indians in Kenya, they are now expatriate Indians here in the UK via Nairobi. Before I start talking to you a bit about the Kenyan community and the fact that Indians are everywhere and wherever they may go, they make the community a really successful one. I want to ask you, did you all know each other when in Nairobi, all 4 of you? Or did you all?
I think our parents knew each other, but we've just met and we made some connections through our parents.
Okay. And tell me,
it was a close-knit community there, and everybody knew each other. You know, as soon as you went somewhere, they all sort of got to know each other, the families, relatives. The same things happened just now, like we just started talking about somebody. And
before I talk to you a bit about the community and your move to the UK and all of that, for audiences who may not know, how come so many Indians landed up in Kenya?
I think the reason was that people decided to move out. Things were still great, we just needed to settle different countries,
My parents, so my grandfather moved after partition. He moved from, they were in Lahore. So from Lahore they had the option, because it was still a British Empire, the option to move to, another
different part of the world.
Exactly. And, so they took the option, they moved to Kenya, and that's how they started.
A lot of adventurous people decided to sort of get on to the steamer ship and decide to go to Africa. Was that the story with your parents?
Exactly. My grandfather actually saw the opportunity after the petitioning that some business is to be made in Kenya. So as a businessman, he jumped on the bandwagon and off to Nairobi to Kenya, where he started his business, fruit and vegetable trade.
And what fantastic stories, huh? What about your...
My father moved to Kenya when he was 16 years old.
Wow.
Because he came from quite a big family, and to support them all, he needed to do something. So he came and he started a garage, a mechanics business which to his good fortune really thrived.
Fantastic.
And then he managed to send all his children, 6 of us, to UK for education.
Wow.
This is how we ended up here.
So I mean, these are stories of real enterprise. Huh? I mean, people kind of, going out of India in those times when not too many people stepped out of the country and, making a life for themselves in a foreign land. And all of you here, all 4 of you in the frame, have followed in the footsteps of your forebearers of doing exactly the same thing, coming out of Kenya and making a life in the UK. Tell me, why did you do that?
Well, I think there was more opportunities here. Kenya was, Nairobi. You look what happened to Uganda.
Yeah.
And things were not safe. People stayed behind. They've done very well. There are still people out there thriving. A lot of people then came from India, went into Nairobi. But we've got a good life here. We sort of built our own businesses here. We've all worked hard here. It was tough for us from the beginning. Things were different, 1968. Now it's fantastic. More people. It's very cosmopolitan, London. So
okay. Well, what about your experience? I mean, why did you come, and what age did you come here? And was it an easy experience, sir, for you?
For me, initially it was for education. I was actually kicked out of the house because I was a rebel. Didn't want to study, and Dad said, no, you better get out and study in UK. And this is how I started. So did all my education over here, and then I saw the opportunity in optical world. I'm an optometrist and had my own business and so on, and well established. And then I decided to go back, but then they had an attempted coup.
A lot of political instability.
A lot of political instability, and that's the time when we decided, let's go back and build our own business over there.
Fantastic.
And this is how we grew in this country.
Yeah. And did you happen to drop into an optometrist?
No.
Was it? How did you meet him? And
I came here to do my medical education.
Okay.
So I was in Glasgow University. I did my medicine over there. Then we met in London. We got married. We both had Kenyan background. That's why we went back. Then we came back, and ever since I worked for NHS.
Wow, fantastic! What great, fantastic story. So, as Indian, your Indian parents must be super proud of you. Becoming a doctor in that time. That too, coming from Kenya, coming here to the UK, pursuing your education.
My brother had come earlier on. He was in Edinburgh, and then I followed, and I was in Glasgow. And yes, our parents were very ambitious.
Yeah.
They did everything they could to encourage us to study.
Oh, fantastic. I want to ask all of you though, and this is, here we are talking to you at, at a gala dinner for the Indian community. You are 2, and some of you, 3 generations removed from India.
Yeah.
Do you all still feel Indian?
Very much, very much. Proud to be Indian, proud to be British as well.
British Indians. I think we all like to call ourselves British Indians.
Yeah.
We've established very well in this country now as well. Have business set up, and the children have grown up here. And our friends are all here. Our friend base is all here now. Families are here. So
this is our home now. We don't miss Nairobi.
Come on, you must miss it a bit.
I was 8 years old when I came here, so
hardly remember it.
Hardly remember it. But the love that was there in Nairobi with our community, how we all got on, it was fantastic. Absolutely. What I can remember of it, and it's great.
What do you miss about Kenya? You must have been pretty grown up when you left.
We don't miss it because we go every year.
Oh, you go every
We
year?
still keep links with Kenya, and we visit at least once a year.
Yeah. Is there still a thriving Indian community, or is it very reduced?
Very much a thriving Indian community. A lot of expatriate Indians as well over there.
Yeah.
And yes, it's as thriving as it was, maybe even more thriving than a few years back.
Tell me one thing though, I mean, while the community in America and while the community here, the Indian community, often kind of grabs the headlines and is, center of a lot of attention, center of a lot of media attention, oftentimes communities like the ones in Kenya or Uganda are almost forgotten, right? I mean, is that true? Is that your experience as well? I mean, when you talk to Indians and tell them that, hey, there are lots of Indians in Kenya, are they this kind of surprise that you get? Is that something that you're surprised by yourself?
Not really, because what we found recently is a lot of Indians traveling from India have started industries in Nairobi.
It's the second wave.
Yeah. Exactly. There are loads of Indians now, and unfortunately now we've got Chinese coming in as well.
Unfortunately.
Who are trying to beat the Indians in their own game.
Yeah.
But I think Indians will still win.
Yeah. Indians will still win.
Indians will still win.
We hope so.
Yeah.
We hope
Because
so.
we are Indians in heart. Yeah. We always support Indians. We always support Indians in cricket or whatever in the field. We are Indians at the end of the day.
Fantastic. I mean, 2 and 3 generations removed, and still you feel Indian at heart.
Exactly.
Before I wrap, I just want to ask all of you that here we are talking about India and taking pride in being Indian. Tell me, I mean, your idea about India. Where do you see India going in the next few decades? Do you think, as a lot of people believe, that this is India's century? Do you subscribe to that view as well?
I think India is, what they're doing at the moment, it's unbelievable, with the new government now. Sorry to bring politics in, but I think Mr. Modi is doing an excellent job. And how quickly he's got, in Japan, Australia, I believe Obama's coming over now. It's fantastic. So
a lot of hope. A lot of hope. Okay.
And I think the future is great in India. There is corruption that will always be there. The infrastructure is all wrong, If they can sort the cleanliness and everything else, it's a great country.
Okay. Well, what about you, ma'am? Hope for India?
Yes, I'm sure India is going to do very well. All I'd say is that when our children go over there as non-resident Indians, they should be included in India as the Indians, because they still feel Indian, but sometimes they are not that inclusive.
But a lot of Indians don't think of them as Indian.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think that really needs to be brought home.
Yeah.
That we have given them a lot of Indian values and they need to be valued.
Fantastic.
Otherwise they'll grow away.
Fantastic. Very, very important point.
They are treated as non-resident Indians, NRIs.
Yeah.
I sincerely hope they don't use that term NRI. We are Indians at the end of the day, and treat us like Indians.
Somebody told me that NRI should be replaced with IAH, Indians at Heart.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, lovely. And ma'am, before we wrap, tell us, I mean, your hope for India. Well, are you hopeful of where the country is headed?
Definitely, it's looking ahead. It's looking up. Things are looking good. They've got everything going for it. It just needs a little bit of TLC, I think, and a bit of less corruption and things.
Yeah.
I love visiting India. I love going there. I mean, I was born in Nairobi, but I'm an Indian, really.
Yeah.
Come to the house, we do Park Puja, everything. This function here is a testament to how Indian.
Reflection of how Indian all of you feel. Fantastic. So there you go. The man who told me this story about Indians being everywhere wasn't just making it up, right? I mean, there are so many Indians everywhere, and people who even generations removed from India still feel Indian. Still, a lot of people's hearts beat for India.